PMac back for a new PMacMovies reviews video. These ones are for the fans who actually give a damn about what all PMac thinks. Why do people just care more about what I buy than what I think? Something to ponder. Movie collectors don't give a shit about what anybody thinks. They just want movies. Movies. I have a big stack here, you know, pretty big, of stuff that I've watched, and I'm going to talk about them. I haven't thought about what I'm going to say about them. I'm just going to come out with it. I don't have a script. I don't have a teleprompter. What's that say? Oh God, what a horrible movie. Oh God, no! No! But seriously, no. This is going to be the first one I go over. Oh, God. But anyway, take a look at the description section for ways that you can help support PMacMovies. Keep these videos coming. There's only a handful of people who give a shit about these reviews videos. So, if you like them, take part, like, comment, all that fun stuff. Because most people don't give a F. Just being realistic. If you like this movie, and I know some of you out there probably do like it, so I'm turning you off by saying this. If you like this movie, you need to get your head checked. Not because it's a bad movie, but because it's a sick effing movie. I almost really dropped an F-bomb there, and I don't like to swear. This is a sick, twisted, disgusting, despicable. If you want to just see like women raped and like kids getting killed, and this is like a trauma-inducing torture shit of a movie, and it is the Nightingale here. I don't know who could get pleasure out of watching this. It is some. If you have a heart, if you have any decency, I don't know how you could watching this movie, because you're seeing, like I said, you're seeing rapes, you're seeing kids getting killed. This is a sick movie. Oh, but it's realistic. That's what really happened back then. I don't care. How could you like watching that? How could you like watching it? Don't even defend yourself. There is no defense for it. If you like that movie, you need professional help. You do. And I'm a counselor, and I'm telling you, you do need help. It's a movie that I was very uncomfortable watching. It's a movie that I got no pleasure out of. It's a movie where when it was done, I couldn't believe I made it through it. And it was like, there's got to be something better, because like people said this was a good movie, and it's sick and twisted. So she's going to get some like triumphant revenge. And it's like you're waiting this whole movie for this woman to get this revenge. Spoiler, there's no fucking payoff. It's horrible. This movie sucked, and it's disgusting, disturbing. Stay away from it. Don't watch it. Don't buy it. Throw it in the trash can. I won't even sell that movie. It's so bad. I'm just going to put it out with the trash. I don't want to sell it to anybody to watch, because it's that horrible, that sick and twisted of a movie. It is really what I just said it was. This woman, I'm going to spoil it. This woman's family, her baby and her husband get murdered. She gets raped, and she never gets her. The whole movie is about her getting revenge, and she doesn't get it. And then there's more rapes and child killings in between. This is a sick movie. I almost just dropped another F-bomb. I'm getting incensed about how... That's a disturbing movie. That is seriously a disturbing movie. And if you enjoyed that, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And that's going to turn off a lot of people. I don't really give a shit. That's a sick movie. If you liked it, sorry. Not really, though. You should be sorry. It's a sick movie. Calm down, PMac. I didn't know I was going to get that hot about it, quite frankly. But just thinking about it again, it's like re-traumatizing me. I don't like seeing that stuff. And the only reason I followed through with the movie was because I thought that the perpetrators of the sick stuff were going to get vengeance. And they did, but it wasn't the woman doing it. So there was no real catharsis. Oh God. Don't if you like that movie, I guess you can comment if you like the movie, but you're probably not gonna now, and I'm probably gonna think you're a sick, twisted person. And you're gonna give it, if you give this video a thumbs down because you like that movie, you know, whatever, it's fine. Give it a thumbs down. Sign into several accounts and give it thumbs down on all of them. It's a sick movie. Next, did I review this already? Gretel and Hansel. This is also a sick and twisted movie, but at least it was actually entertaining. I mean, that movie was sick, twisted, and it was just depressing the whole time. There was no entertainment. This movie, like, there's sick and twisted movies, but at least you get some entertainment from them. There's some, you know, the bad characters get what's coming to them. There's, like, a good story and a good folly. There's just no payoff with that. Don't come here and say that I'm talking good about some movies that are like that and horrible about that movie. That movie had, like, it was supposed to be realistic, but it was just... Anyway, let's move on to this next one. Hansel and Gretel. This was actually a really, really good one, and it's pretty short, 87 minutes. It's the Hansel and Gretel kind of tale, but there's a lot of, like, I don't know, symbolism, and there's going to be a theme in this video, and I didn't even think about this one in particular, but entities feeding off of people, specifically children. And that is in so many movies, it really makes you wonder, along with how many, I think it's even become kind of mainstream lately, things happening to kids and stuff, but feeding off of their energy and their life force, and it's been in so much stuff now. People just write that, oh, it's just a movie. It's not just a movie when they show it that many times. It's not just a movie. There's a reason why they show that. They're telling you something. They're like, this is what happens. This is how it is. I actually enjoy, you know, I was going to start, like, and I did start writing in my notebooks, and then it just got to be like, I just want to watch the movies. I'm sick of writing in the notebooks, and I was going to go through and talk about my thoughts about these movies. So I'm not going to remember everything, but I thought that this was a really fun, entertaining movie. That definitely some darkness to it. It's definitely a horror movie. But I thought that the ending... I felt like the ending was portrayed as a win for the girl at the end of this, but I kind of remember thinking it's kind of a quasi-win. It's not really. But this was a really interesting one. It's also interesting. I'm just seeing on the back how the witch's house was like a triangle, which is interesting to me. There's always like symbolism in these and stuff, but this was a really good one if you like horror movies. I think this got pretty mixed reviews, but I thought it was excellent. Kind of reminded me of something like the Witch, the VV Witch, the VV Itch. Kind of remind me of that kind of feel to it, that kind of time period to it. But I thought this was an excellent one, so definitely stay in the PMac collection. Nightingale. Going out with it. Tomorrow's garbage day. Bye-bye, Nightingale. Up next, another one along the same lines. The Outsider. This is based on a Stephen King book. How do I talk about this without giving much away? This is an HBO season, and they might actually continue this, I heard. They might be continuing this one. I don't know, I was uploading a video on another channel, which if you enjoy my thoughts on things, check out my other channel, PMac Perspective. New video is going to be up by the time this video is up. This season was 551 minutes. And again, it's about an entity feeding off of children and their families. I am giving a little bit away, not a ton though. You kind of a spoiler, but similar to something like, and I was kind of thinking about, this is from a Stephen King book, and Doctor Sleep, and they're feeding off of kids for their life force, and it's that same kind of thing. And again, it's sick and twisted. Why do they put that in so many movies? It's got to make you think, oh, it's just good old fun entertainment value. They're telling you some deeper truths, in my opinion, that there is feeding off of life forces, and that really is, oh, that's just BS. I only believe in physical reality and science. Well, if that's the case, you probably don't watch PMacMovies. And you're dope. Anyway, and absolutely, oh shoot, I dropped one, but it fell on the cushion. Okay. This is an absolutely fantastic movie. And again, I got some child crap in here. It's The Hunt. In this movie, it is starring Mads Mikkelsen. He's walking home he's kind of close with his best friend's young daughter. She's probably like 5 or 6. I can't remember exactly. But she has grown attached to him. It is the friend of her father, the best friend of her father. She's grown attached to him, and this is in like a little country Danish village. Mads Mikkelsen's character works at like it's like a nursery or something. Young kids, 4, 5, 6 or whatever, playing around. And she gets shown like an image by her brother, the little girl, of man parts. And then, he's on the floor playing around with the other boys there at the nursery school, and she comes up and kisses him, and he talks to her, and like, that's only for your parents, that's basically telling her, that's not appropriate in this situation. So he's being assertive, and she takes it the wrong way, and then she says something about his man parts to the woman who runs the school, and it gets turned into something way bigger than that, and his reputation is tarnished, is murdered. That he gets fired from his job, he gets the legal system gets involved. And this movie's more about how accusations and things like that can tarnish a person's reputation, and it was very intriguing, like how everybody in the town just treats him like shit. They just basically assume that he's totally guilty. The girl even several times says, he didn't do it, but the adults are like, oh, you're just traumatized. You just don't want to think about it, even though she was trying to tell him, like, and then they were like putting it in her mouth. Did he do this? And they were going into like some weird, like they were directly asking her, oh, did he do this in front of you? And it puts the idea in her head and got her confused. At first it was just kind of a little lie, but then they like confused the little girl, I think, or like she didn't want to go back on the lie and stuff. And she was like answering yes to the questions, and so they kind of like put the thoughts, and then everybody just turned on him, and it was hard to see, and it affected his. He had a son from a marriage that didn't work out, like a teenage son, and he wasn't able to talk to him, and just it was a very, very interesting movie. I feel like it puts you in the position of this character very well. So for everything it did great, it also makes me think, like, when somebody does this, are they going to be, when some weirdo does this, are people going to like kind of see movies like this and be like, well, he didn't do it? Like it's really like, it's a bad situation, and it could lead to some very bad things. Actually, when I was in middle school, I might have been in high school by then, but I had a teacher, and everybody really liked this teacher. I think it was 7th grade that I had him, and maybe the accusations were when I was in high school. But he got accused of, on a field trip, doing something inappropriate with a couple of the kids, and he never worked there again. His reputation totally tarnished. he didn't seem like the type of guy to do that. Seemed like a really nice guy, actually. And probably almost some legal stuff. I think he had to quit. He had to, I don't know if he had to admit that he did it, but he had to quit. And I do know the two kids that accused him too, and they're kind of sketchy. I wouldn't totally trust them, but who knows? Who knows exactly what happened. Yeah, not good. But anyway, so that kind of stuff does happen. I mean, it happened directly in my life, so that kind of stuff happens quite often, unfortunately, where you get accusations, and is it a false accusation, is it a real accusation? And once the accusation's out there, it's like, it's the same with this Outsider movie. Jason Bateman's character, right in the first episode, gets arrested for murder, and they arrest him right in front of everybody because they're so sure that he did it. And, his reputation's gone. His whole family, his wife's an outcast, his kids are an outcast. They couldn't go to school anymore, and it was totally not true. He didn't do anything wrong. So it's just, that's an interesting piece. Not going to talk about this one much, but I watched Just Before I Go here, starring Seann William Scott, directed by Courtney Cox. Not a great movie. It was really kind of uneven, where there was some silly comedy in it, but then some really serious stuff, like some serious, stuff about suicide and depression and stuff like that. But then there was, silly, there's some weird sexual stuff in it, and so you got some kind of. It was kind of uneven, but I found it to be actually a very entertaining, engaging movie. I enjoyed it. So while I don't think it's a good movie, I thought it was an entertaining movie and a good movie. I do like Seann William Scott. He's always kind of, it seems like he's in such different roles than the Stifler character that he played. Actually, most of the times I see him, he's like a pretty subdued character where he's, deep in thought and stuff like that. But I like this one. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. Back to The Outsider, which I didn't talk about totally the quality of it. This is 10 episodes. It definitely could have got cut down to 8 episodes. There's some filler in it, but overall really excellent. I would give it 4 out of 5. The Hunt, fantastic, 5 out of 5. Gretel and Hansel, I'm going to say 4.5 out of 5. I like that one a lot. And The Nightingale, 0 out of 5. Don't watch it. Don't go near it. You will be traumatized. I wish I never watched it. Up next, we have a movie that came out from Scream Factory fairly recently called The Tenant. This is directed by Roman Polanski. Roman Polanski stars in it. It's like every movie in this, there's some... Roman Polanski has charges. I believe he has charges in this country for statutory rape. He has to live in a different country. Sick and twisted. It's sick and... How could so much of that stuff be through the movie industry? Does it have to be... No, it doesn't. It's not happening. But people are just... They want to deny reality. It's really weird. Watch PMac Perspective. I go into more about that kind of stuff. This is from 1976, 125 minutes. This was a really intriguing psychological movie. I'm not totally sure, really, what to make of it. Roman Polanski's character moves into this apartment. He kind of starts losing touch with reality. I feel like he, totally lost touch with reality. There's some transsexual stuff going on in this movie. Kind of an interesting movie, and it's a movie where not everything is spelled out for you. So I thought it was good. I thought it was worth a watch. If you can find it for around 15, probably, but it's it's going to be tough to find it for around. I wouldn't pay more than 20 for it, but I thought it was decent. This is a Dollar Tree one. Up next, we have a movie called Compliance, and apparently this is, hey, that's the same guy that was in The Outsider. I had, never seen that guy before, and then he's in both of these movies. That's really weird. Compliance, based on true events where somebody called in and pretended to be a cop, and, the manager of these fast food restaurants would quickly take the rights away from an employee that gets accused of something, and it's just, you know, this, and I could say this isn't realistic. I think certain parts of it were added, like the more sexual stuff. I hope, like, because it got pretty bad as far as what this led to. But it's hard to watch this movie without saying, wow, these characters are just idiots. Somebody can't just call you and say they're a cop and give you responsibilities of a cop. Like, they can't just tell you, oh, you know, do this, which is totally taking the rights away from people. Oh, tell them they have to strip. It's so stupid. People are pretty dumb, though, and it shows you how people will just bend the knee to authority, bow to authority, love authority. Especially with, you know, look at the situation that's going on now. Totally crazy whack shit. Total BS going on right now in society. It's crazy time. It's nuts. People believe things that aren't real because authority tells them. People do things that are bad for them just because authority, you know, spraying Lysol all over the place and breathing it in is not good for you. A lot of people are going to be getting sick this winter because they blindly believe everything. They believe that using all these chemicals and touching it, and then, you know, you touch food and you're breathing it all in. Your body, when it comes to fall and winter, your body, from all these chemicals, from wearing a mask where your body isn't getting the proper oxygen, you're breathing in bacteria that your body's trying to get rid of. A lot of people this fall and winter are going to be getting bad flus, bad sicknesses, because their body's going to be going through a detox process during the winter, during the fall, winter. And of course, it's going to be blamed on a virus. And people just blindly trust authority. And this is a movie that shows that quite well. Not the most comfortable movie to watch. It's very unpleasant and frustrating because the characters are just stupid. Compliance. Then I got Flash Gordon. I rewatched this. This is a fun one. I'm not really going to go too deep into it. There's not really a whole lot for me to go into that I can recall. But there's I was kind of only partly... I've seen it before, so I was kind of just, you know, had it on to see how the 4K was. And there's definitely a lot of interesting things about, like, how our society is in this movie. And then you got, like, the things that go around, kind of like the drones and stuff like that. So there was a lot in that. It's just I didn't really think of much to talk about with it. Then I got a movie here, The Measure of a Man. Pretty straightforward. It takes a look at society, and, you know, this guy lost his job, and his job ends up being pretty much taking it to people who are struggling and trying to, like, steal from this. He becomes, like, security, like a loss prevention person at this grocery store. And, you know, all the people that they're pulling in and giving a hard time who stole or whatever, they caught stealing. It's like these people are all struggling. And it was kind of an interesting watch how he's going through his struggles. And then they're having to give a hard time to people who are basically struggling and just trying to get by. But interesting kind of little look at society. I'm sick of talking now, and I don't think I'm going to talk too much about most of these, just kind of tell you what I thought about them. Up next, we have a movie called Last Embrace. Roy Scheider, Janet Margolin, Christopher Walken's in this briefly. It's a twisting tale of murder and mystery. This was one that really got my interest kind of peaked. I didn't feel like the payoff was really that great. It's directed by Jonathan Demme from 1979, 102 minutes. I did enjoy the movie, though. I thought it was a good, like, thriller. And you kind of don't know if, like, Roy Scheider's character is a little bit nutty at the beginning. He's a little bit crazy, maybe. But yeah, kind of actually ends up being kind of a more of a straightforward kind of thriller thing here. Up next, another kind of take a look at society here. It's Old Stone, which is I believe this is Chinese. Yeah, Chinese movie. And it's basically this. It starts off with this this taxi driver has hit a motorcyclist, and he's down, and he's got a bad head injury. His head's cracked open, and everybody's just kind of around, and he's calling, trying to get 911, trying to get an ambulance. So he does, but he didn't go through the proper protocol. He's a taxi driver, and he didn't go through the proper protocol to basically just call like the company he works for, and let them handle it, kind of like let the guy he had die. So he ends up having to pay all this guy's medical bills, which becomes insane. And he's basically told he would have been better off letting this guy die. And it's kind of an interesting look at society and insurance, kind of how stuff doesn't make sense, which is already obvious. And he actually hit the guy because there was a drunk, I think a wealthier kind of guy in his vehicle who was drunk, and he pulled his arm. The drunk guy pulled his arm. So then he's able to find that guy and kind of confronts him. But that guy wants nothing to do with it, obviously. He's like, leave me alone. And, nobody helps him. His family, he's got a wife and kids, I believe. And, that's a whole frustrating situation because he's having to spend all their money on this guy's medical bills. And pretty depressing movie. It is kind of how things are, though. Like, if you don't make the right decisions in the system, or even you could make the moral decision in the system and end up totally screwed, whereas if you just made the cold-hearted decision, you end up a lot better off, and it's messed up. But anyway, two really entertaining action movies. I thought both of these were really entertaining. First, American Assassin, starring the guy from Maze Runner there, Dylan O'Brien. Michael Keaton is good in this one. Taylor Kitsch is the bad guy. And the chicken, the girl in this, very attractive, kind of foreign. Scott Adkins is in this too. Is it Sana Lathan or Shiva Nagar? I'm not sure. David Suchet, who played Poirot, is also in this. But this is, good. I felt like it was like an old school action movie. It did have a pretty good story to it. It is hard to, watch the beginning a little bit, but it did have it's kind of like a revenge kind of thing, and then it gets into some other stuff. I just thought it was a fun, entertaining action movie. Same for Unlocked here, starring Noomi Rapace, Orlando Bloom. I really like Noomi. John Malkovich, Michael Douglas. Star-studded cast for a movie that's not very well known. Really, really good action movie. It actually ends up that this had to do, the plot of this had to do with one of the characters, I'm not going to say who, wanted medical martial law so that, they could prevent viruses from spreading and stuff like that. It's unbelievable how they put all this stuff in movies and then it just magically happens. Woo! That's crazy conspiracy talk. Nuts. This one I didn't like so much. I do really recommend Unlocked. I would give that like a 4 out of 5. American Assassin, 3.5 out of 5. Old Stone, I'll give a 3.5 out of 5. Last Embrace. I'm going to say a 3 out of 5. I did think it was good. Measure of a Man, 3 out of 5. Compliance, I'm going to say, just for the entertainment value, it wasn't that good. Like a 2.5. Flash Gordon, probably 3.5. PMac just gives everything 3.5. Not this one, though. This is The Mountain. Jeff Goldblum. Ty Sheridan, who I like. Ty Sheridan ends up helping out the psychiatrist who treated his mother. He's basically a lobotomist. It's pretty messed up. It really a movie that's very boring. I mean, it was fairly decent, but it was just slow and boring. So if you're in the mood for more of a thinking, and I don't even think it really went into too much depth, really. I thought it was just mostly boring. Can't recommend that one. Maybe like a 2 out of 5. Didn't like it much. I just got done watching Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, which I thought was quite mediocre. I really liked the last segment. There's actually kind of 4. There's the interwoven one is the 4th one. There was a mummy one. What was the middle one? Oh, with the cat. And then there was the one with this creature here, which I thought was easily the best one for me. Directed by John Harrison. It did feel a lot like, the other anthology movies, like Creepshow movies and stuff like that. So if you like those, you'll probably like this. I thought the first 2 segments were kind of weak. The one that the kid was actually reading out of a book, the way it drew them all together, that was a pretty decent one too. I like that. But it was a fun watch, an hour and a half, kind of a quick watch, and pretty entertaining. Give that like a 3 out of 5. And then me and Charmaine watched this last night. Birth of the Dragon. This is where Bruce Lee fights Bruce Lee fights Wong Jackman. Is he related to Hugh Jackman? But this was an interesting, and obviously it's not like totally what really happened and stuff. They throw a love story in there, but I thought it was a pretty fun, entertaining movie. I don't know much about Bruce Lee, like how he really acted and stuff, but I'm told that this was fairly accurate. The Wong Jackman's actually a much more likable, character individual there, and I thought it was pretty good. Who plays the main character is actually a Caucasian guy, which I don't know his name. So he was Bruce Lee's student, and then he meets Wong Jackman and likes his teachings more. I thought it was really good though. Me and Charmy both liked it. I was kind of surprised, Bruce Lee acts like kind of a dick. I didn't really realize he was like that, but then, apparently he went through kind of a transformation after the fight there, and then, part of the story is they're trying to free this girl who is kind of enslaved, is working at this restaurant, and, the Chinese are, like, enslaving her, and they could, she's like threatened, oh, we're going to put you in our whorehouse if you don't get in line. So they're working on like the Caucasian white guy in this. I don't remember his name. He's working on freeing the girl because he likes her. So it was a fun one. Not a great movie, but I thought it was pretty entertaining. I'd give it like a 3.5 out of 5. Let me know your thoughts on any of these movies. I did enjoy some of them, as you can tell. All the hate goes to that Nightingale movie. Just ugh. Oh, no. Take a look in the description section again for ways that you can help out the channel. Yeah, let me know what you've watched recently. Let me know your thoughts on any of these movies I shared anything about. If you agree with me, that's fine. If you disagree with me, that's fine. It's all good. We're here to get along on PMacMovies. We'll see you next time on PMacMovies.